right, folks, hot dog it. We're back at it again. Kid Double O, you already know. So, folks, we are back. We are going to actually start diving into Adobe XD again. It's been quite some time since I did my old video. I'll probably have it floating around somewhere. But originally, before this, I was looking to teach you all out there who are new into the coming into coding a little bit of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then I had to step back and understand that I would have to assume you don't know about VS Code, you don't know about Git Bash if you're on Windows, you don't know about the terminal, just a lot of different stuff. And then this really hit me that I have extreme appreciation for content creators, because that's a lot of mental process, and I just honestly made things much more complicated than what it really needs to be. So I'm saying that to say that I gotta stick to the plan that I have for the channel, and that was to have fun. And I wanted to have fun doing what I love to do for fun, is to make designs and to code them out. And so that's what I want to do for you today. That's what we're going to start with today. We're going to go back in Adobe XD without all that loud noise that I had on that previous video, and we're going to make it happen. So stay tuned, stay locked, folks. Let's get it. All right, folks, what's going on? What's going on? Cat the Dev Double O. For the ones who just joined in here, for the ones who do not know, here on this channel, I talk about everything from lifestyle, web development, web designing, a little bit of coding there. So I like to help ones who are coming fresh into web development, need to know the fundamentals, the basics, as well as get a design sense of the web. So those are some things that sounds pretty cool to you. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. So right now, as you can see on my screen here, I have Adobe up. We're at adobe.com. I just want to show you guys the Creative Cloud for the ones who may not have it yet. Here, you can come here and pretty much click on any of these, and it's probably going to prompt you to sign up and sign up for an Adobe account and try their tools for free. So if I had it my way, I would have a lifetime membership to Adobe, but I cannot certainly afford that. So until then, I enjoy the free perks of a lot of their platforms, or a lot of their tools. I've done a lot of the trials for some of their products, or most of their products for that matter. But anyway, we will be entertaining the world of Adobe XD. So that link will be in the description below, as well as this one. The ones who want to try out Adobe XD, this is what this is all about. The free trial for that, which again, the free version will be what I'm operating from, and it's all you need to get started. Okay, so that's what we have. That link will be in the description below. Just want to kind of show you these pages, and then you can do with them as you wish. All right, so a lot of cool stuff that Adobe does, and we'll be doing all these things anyway. I just want to scroll down their web page. It's been a little while, so absolutely amazing, fun stuff. So next, we're going to hop in to Adobe XD. I wanted to see into the home screen first. I got a lot of random projects, random stuff that I've done here. But anyway, what I like about this is it just gives you a nice UI, user interface, just great layout to where if you're new to it, you want to learn some things, you're able to do so. Cloud documents, you're able to go in here and spin up a lot, or start back from a lot of documents you saved to the cloud. That's what I love about this. Again, Creative Cloud. You're able to do some cloud storage, which is tremendous for me. I'm struggling with storage, so I love that I had that ability. So files that are shared with me, stuff that I've deleted, I think it stays here for a certain period of time. You can catch that. Managing links. Again, this is part of your page. I think you can have up to 1 or 2 links that you can send out for people to review some of your work, this, that, and the other. So anyway, I like this too. How they like to get you started, a little quick starter space. It shows you some layouts, some common layouts, some trendy layouts that are used when it comes to designing. Of course, iPhone 12. The web is 1920 by 1080. This is your common screen size. Instagram story for sure. Or you can just come in here and do a custom size. Be mindful with this one, you don't start off like this. You'll start off with an empty canvas, and it can kind of throw you for a loop if you're new to it. So I encourage you to do something like this. So You hit the button, it's going to pull you into a nice little, shiny, nice little interface. All right, so this one I would use, but I actually already have one up, so we're going to close this out, or actually jump over. We're going to jump over what I have, and we'll get some things started. So let's get kick started with a few things here, though. We're going to go top down, all right? I want to make this as painless as possible. All right, folks, starting from the top down, we have File, and I'm really not going to social intelligence, but all in here, this is where we do a little bit of everything from starting a new slate, a clean project, opening a project. This is where we go back to that dashboard. I showed you that UI where you have all your layouts, obviously opening up your recent projects. This one's pretty cool. You would totally want to check this out. UI kits. This is fun layouts, fun assets to use to create mobile experiences, and it does a lot of heavy lifting in regards to nice UIs to start with out of the box. So it gives you a template, if you will. So that's very cool to check out. Managing your libraries. This has not worked the same as it used to for me, but this is when you can shuffle between all the different Adobe products and work on something from Photoshop, bring it into here. Like it had a free flow flexibility to it, and maybe I'm just not seeing it because I'm not on that premium plan. But it just has not worked the way I like for it to. But you feel free to explore that. It's our save methods. I always do save as right here to the cloud. You can also save it as a local document if you need to haul it around wherever you need. Also, the export and import features. Obviously, export depending on specific assets, different artboards or all your artboards. Import works the same way. You can actually snag any files you may have on your local machine and import them into the project or into your artboard, your project space. All right, so edit. We get to move some things around and same common stuff, and pretty much everyone's edit. Let's copy, paste, duplicate, select all those cool things. I like to leave my spell check on. I don't know anyone who wouldn't. I got some other preferences too. Productivity tips. I really don't need these, but those are there for you. You can change the language, all that awesome stuff. That comes in handy. Object. This is where we can kind of work around. And again, you want to totally learn these short keys, guys. The ones who are not just familiar with short keys, hot keys, whatever you want to call them, shortcuts. They're on your side panel. So again, I guarantee half the people I'm talking to right now are on Mac. So you want to I'm totally Windows or PC, I should say. So I'm not going to probably help you as much. I'm going to only assume that your control, meaning that which is your command, works for you as it should. And if anything is dealing with Alt, that's an option for you. It will work it as such, all right? But anyway, these are all the different things you can do with your objects, meaning whatever, pretty much anything you create in here, this is how you would manipulate that. So create the path of the pen tool, or what is path when it relates to two different assets or stuff coming together. You see some of these cool things here in just a minute. Text or arrange, transform, just common stuff to manipulate the objects on your artboard. Plugins, so way too many for this. That's totally for another video. One we will be entertaining though will be INCONSCOUT. You can literally go to INCONSCOUT, their actual website. I had that linked in the description below as well, where you can get some assets, get started. We're going to be playing with a couple of icons in our project space. All right. And view, if I can get that out of the way, play nice. And view, I think this is what, let me make sure, because his view is totally not working right now. I hope it doesn't do anything crazy on me, but we'll disregard it for now. But I'd imagine it's going to just change your mode from full screen, which again, you won't need it. So much real estate, you wouldn't honestly need it. But if anything, that'll be where that preview button come in at. We'll go over there in just a second. And Windows, different windows up. Like I said, I already got 2 of them up. You guys saw the other one. I'm on this one. And that preview I mentioned over there on that play button, this is that same option from window. The preview, you can hit Control Enter, whatever you got laid out here will show. Help, so anyone who's getting stuck or anything, you guys can totally come here. It'll help you. I strongly encourage you to keep XD and all Adobe products up to date. This thing gets really wonky if you don't do so. All right, so enough of that. Over on this panel, Again, this comes in handy more on premium, but you do have a few links where you can invite some people and link them up and stuff. So you see Kevin Dale below, that's me. And I can invite 1 to 2 people, but I'm already at my max. I gotta actually figure out how to get rid of the other ones. The device preview, that comes in handy if you're hooking up your device to your computer and you want to see what it looks like on mobile. So that's a really cool way to check it out and display it and really get into it and get a real good intuitive feel on your projects. Again, that play button is helpful for the preview. Does the same thing where you can actually look at the work and see what you've done, right? Step back and look at it. All right, home button, as I mentioned, going to take you back to that dashboard. Your main 3 steps you will need in designing, main 2 to be exact though, will be design, the mode we're in now where we can make all our shapes and all these wonderful things. And then we have prototype. This is where we make those wonderful shapes. Let's hop back and make them. How about that? We make one and then make another. But a prototype now is giving us that ability to do some interactions. So as you can see our list of interactions, we'll go ahead and go right into it. Trying to make this again not so lengthy, but if we hit my mark that I'm landing on, then I'm gonna definitely have to chop this into some pieces here. Maybe about 2, maybe 3 vids. But anyway, we're gonna work through it. All right, so some interactions you can list through. This gets pretty darn lengthy, but you can come over here and hit plus to add an interaction. These are the different ways. Now I'm totally saving this to plugins and interactions are totally just in a league of their own. It's a process in itself. So I'll just explain it just a little bit, touch lightly on it, and we'll explain those and entertain those in more videos to come. All right, I want to get everybody warmed up and used to the environment so you know your workspace, and then we start rolling up our sleeves, doing some cool stuff as we continue to hone in on your skills. All right, so I want to start with simple layouts and encode these simple layouts. All right, so we have tap, we have drag, this key press, or if you have a gamepad, want to have it interact, you can do so. Voice command, very, very, very fun. Very fun, very fun. It works to the T, it really does. So we'll see those in the future. All right, so some transitions, we have auto animate, which is probably going to be your go-to here for transitions. Depending on how you create each artboard will determine how that outcome comes as it auto animates. It gets very tricky, but over time, with a little bit of practice, you'll be good to go. Also, we have overlay. Overlay is when you do an interaction where when you click it, you want to create an interaction and an overlay. That means you can have another artboard pop up or anything once you click on something. Again, I don't want to get too far into it, but you have an overlay ability that's your modals, little pop-ups. You know, when you go to a website after so many seconds, pops up, sign up to my newsletter, that cool stuff. That's what this is, overlay. Scroll to, we definitely know this. When you go to the top of landing pages, you may see a little arrow, some kind of trigger to tell you to go down, or they want you to, or more so they want you to interact and click it, and it smooth scrolls you down to a specific area. You can do that. This is where you scroll to, and then you can get to a specific artboard or a specific part on that specific one artboard or however you see it. And you can set the offset. That means how far off from it will it stop on it. On the y-axis, mean up and down. So I'm coming down to something. How far will I stop before I get to it? So that's how that kind of thing sets up. All right, so we have that, and you get the ease of it. So if we want it to be smooth or a little rough, however you want to set that, you can do that. Previous artboard. This is by default. It'll naturally do that. When you do certain triggers to one artboard, it's going to set it back to the next artboard. So that's something you'll see later on as well. Audio feed playback. This is where you can actually play music in here on your. This really comes in handy when you make maybe a mobile, another Spotify. Let's say some kind of knockoff prototype of Spotify or whatever. You make a UI layout and you have a play button. You can actually have hit the play button and actually be a full interaction as if it's an actual app. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Speech playback, one of my favorites. We got a few voices that we probably already know. We probably know some of these common voices, but you can use those and prompt for a command, whatever it is that you're getting ready to tell it. You can type in this and they'll give you that in return. So I think you can really pretty much say just about anything, and then you can kind of. I've seen this work. I haven't stretched it pretty to its max or anything, with anything complex, but sure thing, Kev, or something like that, I get that response back. So it's pretty cool, pretty cool. So I like that. Share is the last one. Again, this one you don't really need unless if you're on a team or going to be on a development team, UI UX team, then you will totally have this anyway. But this is a part of the premium package. As you can see, it's going to ask you to upgrade there for unlimited sharing. Again, I think this goes back to what I was telling you guys about the share links that I mentioned earlier. I already sent 2 of them out, so I would be able to do that from here though. So I've already created a couple links out there. I gotta figure out how to go into my main Adobe account and remove those so that I can get those 2 back. All right. I did forget up here too, by the way, folks. This is how far we're in and out of our platform. So 50% out. So you can't tell. Obviously, I'm in an empty space, but our stuff is all in here. So as you can see, and again, it looks different here because we're in share mode. It's only highlighting the area that we can share, or we get ready to share or whatever. So that's what that is. All right. So I'm gonna go to design. Everything is here, rocking and rolling. All right. So as you can see, the real estate is humongous. So we're gonna be playing down below. I just wanted to let you know. Look how big this thing gets, guys. It's huge. So we can send this literally up to the corner and do our thing down this way, which I'm actually probably gonna do it that way. So we just come hang tight up here at the top, and we'll look at some stuff. And to be honest, I'm really not even trying to make it carbon copy, but I'm gonna kind of like freestyle here a little bit. I'm gonna work with it. Excuse the noise. There's something disconnected on me. All right, so let's work this left-hand panel here, and then we'll get some stuff going real quick. So let me scroll down real quick though. I want to scroll down, and let's go with. I'm gonna use. Let's go over here. But I'll tell you what. Let's explain these, and then I'm gonna get ready to do some things. It's gonna make some sense with what's going on over here. Okay. So first thing we have is our select tool. So this comes in handy. Pretty much anything you want to move around or anything, or if anybody's been in Photoshop or anything like your hand tool or whatnot, that's what this thing kind of does though. So it helps select specific elements on your board, and you can move them around, manipulate them as such with that select tool. Next tool is commonly known. We already know how this is. This is rectangle. That's this one right here. So you'll be using a ton of these in your projects. You'll be amazed. This small little panel does so much. All right, and this the ellipse. Nice little fancy name for a circle. You'll have that shape. We'll do some cool stuff with it. In your polygon, also known as a triangle. So I guess that would be a fancy name for a triangle, polygon. So your line, I don't use the line as much, but we can do some fun stuff with the line. I think I actually used the line on this project. So I use it as accent marks. Again, it's for you to play with, guys. We're going to be building out something here. I'm just giving you something to go with, but by all means, in this video, you should totally be doing your own thing. Like build along with me, but you want to kind of veer off the road here and like do some tweaks and stuff, some crazy stuff in there. Be my guest. Go for it. That's what it's all about. We're going to have plenty of these, guys. A lot of designing, a lot of coding. Be mindful. I would strongly encourage, because of the approach we're doing, I would start off with some nice, soft designing, keeping it light and simple so that you get comfortable with coding that, all right? Strongly encouraged. Next is the pen tool. We're going to do some pretty amazing things in the future with the pen tool. I want to show you here. I don't actually think I need it here for this one, but we will be learning how to make some icons of our own, so we don't always have to go grab some. Just get a good practice of making your own icons. We're going to do a little bit of vector tracing, some cool stuff like that. So you can create some nice little logos or fancy little images you can drop in on a page or on a project and do some crazy stuff with it, right? So that's what we'll do with the pen tool. Text, straightforward. You just type in whatever you want to do, type in some words or whatever. That's what you do with text. So all these got some extended features. So more than anything, now that I think about it, I'm probably going to break this into a series. We saw an end product, but I want to really just honestly take my time with each component here, because I don't want it to get too far out of hand as far as how lengthy this thing is, okay? So we're probably going to entertain all these parts. I'll have this drop, and then later this week, at most, we'll follow back up with diving into that easy, simple sign-up page I have created for us. But I want to make this one come out because I want to actually have this out today. All right, folks, we're going to hop over here to the Artboard tool. So as you can see, this is almost similar to the home page, but with the Artboard tool, it's a little more extensive here. We got layouts, mobile layouts, all your top common phones here, Google Pixel, Galaxy, obviously all the iPhones. Tablets, same way, a lot of the iPads, Samsung Galaxy Tab, Surface. I'm actually on a Surface Pro 6, so that'll be pretty cool to play with. And you got your dimensions off to the side, width and height, or yeah, that's right, yep. So width and height or length, how you look at it. Also, we have our web and desktop layouts, and then we have our social media layouts. These come in handy, guys. You actually can come in here and create your Twitter post layout. You can, for ones who may be out there who probably ever heard of Canva, I mean, it's the same kind of thing in here too. You just have an artboard, you make your design, you download it, or should I say export it out of here, and then put it on a post. So you can make that happen here, just in case if you did not know. So just to know, you could even make your YouTube banner here. These are all the exact dimensions you need. All right. And also this one I haven't seen many people do this much, but you can have a little fun in this. The real estate is super small, but you have watch artboards, and it come handy, man. Make a fun little watch app. This be a good fun activity to do. Start small, get big, right? All right, our final one is Zoom. It's very apparent what it does. Don't need an example of that right now. Anyway, all right, down here, that's those libraries I mentioned. You can leverage yourself. These are not, or this. I say that. Actually, the library I mentioned here is actually a little different. It's the one I mentioned in, I believe, those files or one of those areas, but that's a little different. But this library is the one that's here on the panel. You're gonna love these. So I've totally got all this up here right now, and I really don't want to lose it. So I'm kind of we'll play around today, and then I'll show you how we created all this. All right, I don't want to lose that. Okay. Next, we have layers. Super duper important. You will lose yourself all through layers. As you can see, I have groups and stuff. It's all over the place. Maybe in your eyes, but I know where everything is though. So that's the way I have it laid out, and we will be exploring that again on the next video ahead. And then finally, we down here have our plugins section. So again, plugins pretty deep, but we'll be using INCONSCOUT, as you can see right here. But again, today we won't necessarily use that, but we're gonna play around with all our tools over here. Okay, I want to show you some cool features. I'm gonna be doing some short keys, so bear with me. We'll work it out. I want to make sure you get I want you to get real good and comfortable before we get started, because it's something about when I watch videos where they kind of want you to do both at the same time. Heck, I even did it on the previous video. Or I had you get acquainted with it, and then I wanted you to roll your sleeves up at the same time, start building out something that gets pretty lengthy. This is already plenty of a load already, honestly, but I want to serve you up a little bit more with some moving parts before we go roll up our sleeves and really build something. So that's what we're getting ready to do here next. All right, we're going to play and make some tricks here, or do some tricks, if you will. Let's start with our rectangle. Guys, I'm going to be definitely doing some short keys. It tries to be crazy going around clicking stuff. So first thing first, I'm going to do a Control Command for Mac, Control Shift P. I'm going to get them plugins out of the way. We don't need them. All right. We're getting ready to create a rect, which is a rectangle. All right. I got that rectangle with R. So let's learn these short keys real quick. How about that? So V for Victor, we got the select tool. We have R for rectangle. We have E for ellipse, the circle. We have Y, which I know, go figure, right? And we have the Y for the polygon, the triangle. We have L for the line. We have P for the pen tool. We have T, as in Tom, for the text. We have A for the artboard, and Z for zoom. I don't ever use zoom that way. I use zoom a whole different way. So for the ones who already know, zoom is pretty much universal everywhere. You can hold the controller command, scroll the mouse wheel down for out, up to zoom in, or you can hold your controller command and minus, or you can hold control command and plus to zoom back in. If you want to zero it out, think about zeroing something out. It's cleaning the slate, clearing it back to its default state. Controller command 0 puts you back. All right, that's that. All right, so we're gonna hit that R button. Let's make a rectangle. All right, So immediately after we make this rectangle, notice what we have here. We have all of these different points, which are all nodes, different points of that rectangle, right? So these we can pull and drag and have our way with them, right? My side ones, make them come out this way, in and out. The corners do this. So just like anything else we know. So this one can go both ways, versus here you can't go up and down with it. It just goes that way. So when you grab a corner one, you make it jump and all that cool stuff, right? What I want to put your attention to this, because we already kind of know how those go. I mean, if you've been in some form of a design tool, if not, now you know. But if you've been in some form of a design tool, you've seen that. What you probably haven't seen though are these cool 4 points right here. You can grab any of them, and if you click and hold in and then drag in, it's going to turn it into a circle. And if you bring it back out, it spreads it back out. So this is how you get that cool little soft edge. Soft meaning that soft round look. I'm going to press V as in Victor for this to release. All right, then did a disconnect there, disregard, and they're going to show me those smooth edges. You see them, folks? Those smooth edges. So that's pretty cool though. So that makes for a very amazing design, right? When you kind of get that soft look, sometimes it just depends on what you're working on, right? All right. So with that, you have your width and height. Again, you're creating these things when you spread it out. So look, that's the width. It's the height. So those numbers change anyway. So just know that you can change those over here as well as on your X and Y axis. So the cool thing about each of these, X is, for the ones who didn't know, X axis is horizontal, left to right. Y axis is vertical, up and down. All right, that's those. But on each of these, any of these little panels over here on the right, we have the ability to drag up. We can click on the side here with your mouse, left click, and aim down. Like just slide your mouse down, slide the cursor down, slide it up, and you can change values dynamically that way. It's very, very handy. I love doing that. It's the funnest way to get things kind of rolling and started quickly for me. In regards to width and height, I come in there and just do it on my own. I play with those on my own. But anyway, it comes in handy kind of when I want to rotate. Maybe get a little rotation going on. When I want to know how to get a very cool angle, I can do that. Right there, I just did a Command Z, by the way. Command Z to undo. Controller Command Z to undo. All right, so some other cool nifty features we have. We have some 3D kind of features, these some transform kind of features where we can flip. Cool way to, I guess, to look at this one would be, let me see. We're going to use T for text, and let's just put AG here, and then we're just going to put it there, and we're going to just put it right in the center and group it up, and then we're going to duplicate that. So now we're going to do a right click and copy, or we can do a Command and Control D as in David and make a duplicate. And I'm just going to hold shift and click the mouse in, and I can stay fixed across the X axis. If I let go and hold shift and go up and down, now I'm forever fixed on that Y axis. Anyway, I just want to move it out of the way a little bit and use this right here so we can flip that. We can flip horizontally, so they give us a little mirror look. If we want to do something pretty cool like that, or we can do a up down, give it a little flip action, which is pretty darn cool, by the way. I didn't even see what that'll actually do until now. So you can flip it vertically. All right. And these some other cool features. Now these are new. These some scroll effects. These get pretty deep. We will definitely get on that. All right, so we're gonna work with this right here. I'm gonna show you this responsive resize. So this really, I'm gonna do T for text again. So let's do spell a little bit. Hello world. And by the way, too, when you type in a text, you want to hit escape to come out of it, so that it highlights it and it's ready to be used as however you need it. I feel like this would be a good time to segue into, by the way, we're on text. So let's just go ahead and kind of dive in on it, because this is already pretty lengthy. And again, I do apologize for it being so lengthy, but I'd rather you just get the full max out of this as far as knowing your whole real estate. And it's just gonna make it even more fun once we start really creating. All right. So right here now we're able to pull. We're in the first text mode here. Again, let's just take it right here first. So our text mode is this. So we have our different fonts. So whatever you have housed on your computer is how this will go. So I'm gonna see if I can actually select this one. Let me see if it'll change the letters for me. There we go. So as you can see, I'm gonna increase the size of it. Drag it down on that node. That way we can drag it down on the node, or a fun one. You probably would do it a little bit. If you gotta kind of nudge it a little bit, this would be a good way to do this. Control or Command and Shift, and then you can use the less than to shrink it, or greater than to bring it up. So you'll bring it up a pixel at a time, right? So that's what we do for that. All right. So anyway, you'll hop through, and then whatever you got stored on your computer, those will be those different fonts. That's a cool one. We'll just leave it there for now. So I got a lot of these just installed to play around with. Some of these are licensed, some are not. That's up to how you use them. All right. So your font size, remember all the values I told you about. Scroll up and down from over here. So depending on your font, this is where you'll have different ones. Let's do an Open Sans. You have all your different states: regular, italicized, condensed, bold, extra bold. So we got so many different ones. And again, I've downloaded these. I will have that in the description below as well. Google Fonts. If you're not familiar with it, very awesome platform. You really can't go wrong with Google Fonts. Google Fonts, a lot of those are already made readily available on browsers. They're more commonly known on all browsers, or most browsers. So it really helps really kind of put more value to whatever you're designing, if you ask me. So especially if I know I can actually use that font, and if that makes any sense. All right. Anyway, some other cool things you can do: character spacing. Do those values as well. Sometimes some letters that are spread out, see how much more of an effect we get with it spread out more. Sometimes it makes it, I guess, it's a very cheesy way, a larger than life kind of feel, if you will. You'll have an eye for that over time. So it works the same way if we had any line height or spacing we needed, some line spacing there. Then if we had some stuff stacked on top of each other, then we would be able to do that. Same thing with paragraphs. If we had these things, you would control that way. All right, so some of the common stuff, let's see if we can I'm just gonna put some text out here. So hello world, my name is Adobe. Let's just press enter. Let's just get something down here. I'm just creating a little bit of space here because I want to do something here. We're gonna do the comment stuff. So we're just kind of where you can justify your text, center it. Obviously it starts off left of line, jump it to the right. Very cool, nifty ways depending on what you're doing. This is where we can actually use that line height, by the way, too. That line spacing. So line spacing is a new line, whatever line you drop next down to from text, that'll do that. All right, so then we got the auto width. That's what we have set, by the way, too. If you see nodes on the side, we have auto width. Next, we have auto height. I just missed it right here. Yep, so auto height. And this time we got the ability to stretch it out a little bit. What I like about this feature, too, by the way, this is once upon a time not a thing. When we do our auto height, let's actually go under it. If I go under it, see how we got that cut off? Immediately you see a red dot right here. If you were to click on that dot, you got to double click, and then it will drop it down right below your text, whatever you have hidden underneath there. If it just got cut off, if the overflow was cut off or hidden, if you will, it'll clear it. So notice some of the names, some of the wording I'm using here too. This is literally related to when you're typing in code. A lot of these different fundamentals, these features, so when you can put those two together, it makes for some very amazing work. All right. So anyway, fixed height. This is where it does the same thing too. Fixed height is where we can kind of work it around, and you can keep your text boxed in. So no matter how it goes, once you break it down, it's going to automatically just start to stack on top of each other. So that auto height kind of does the same thing. See, if you notice, it was more contained with that the fixed size. It's going to keep it kind of in this fixed position depending on the size of its real estate or the spacing of it. It's going to treat it the way it needs to be treated. So when we do that auto height, His goal is to create as much height as possible when the space is condensed, and that's that. So when you play with these more, you'll see it. You'll see its worth. All right. So some other cool features. Again, a lot of this stuff you can actually do in HTML, by the way, too. Uppercase, we have that. All lowercase, capitalized. I mean, every first letter of each word is uppercase. All right, folks, we had to get back in here. Had a little bit of technical difficulty. Video is super lengthy, folks, so I'm getting ready to have to wrap this up, and we'll totally have more in the video ahead. But what I want to explore, though, was let's go back in a little bit. My name is KDev00 and escape. Let me scale it up a little bit. But I wanted to do other stuff. We had the superscript. Let's drop this down to the next line. And we have superscript, subscript, underline, strike through. I'm going to do Command or Control Z to undo that. Just wanted to show you those things. I'm going to have to brisk through a little bit of this because I want you to have this for now, and then we'll entertain it more ahead. Let's drop a rectangle in here with R and show you those features. I'm going to fill this out real quick. So we got a couple of ways we can do this. We can work through our color picker if we like, where you can set hex, RGB, RGBA for that matter, for some gradient if you like there, for that alpha at the end. So this is red, greens, and blues, alpha at the end. And then you have your hue, saturation, and brightness. That all can be done right here. So those are all your different features. All right, so this is where we can set all the different colors. We're just gonna pick a color. Yikes. Why would I do bright red? I don't know why. But anyway, we're gonna pick a color. I want to show you the scale here. So we scale it down. That's our opacity here. Another HTML feature. We got opacity on however the percentage is. We can do that cool stuff. This blend stuff gets pretty deep, but this is more so kind of, to me, if you're familiar with Photoshop, you got to be familiar with some stuff to kind of play with these. But they're just as they state. That mean, if you had these on top of something, how will it blend in? You can create one with a screen, as you can see. So check that out. So if you ever want to do some cool stuff, pass it around, some colors through, think about that cool animation, right? Think about auto animating that. That'd be cool, right? So these are cool things you can do with those. That's your overlays. And so screen means bright. It's gonna overlay over it, but it's gonna be bright. Lighting is the same thing. See, it's a little more faded. Color dyes, same thing. All these are forms of or wording for bright. All right, burn, darken, multiply. You already know what it means. Like, think about it. It's just, they're all the same. Just a way to make it darker. So these are fun blend tools, right? And these were those 4 points I told you about earlier. These are those where you can break them down. This is a new feature too. Like, what I mean by new too, by the way, folks, this has been out for a while, but these were not originally here. All right. So that one right here with the different scroll groups, that was not there before. That was horizontal, vertical, and diagonal. That wasn't there. Same thing with this. You only had the radius where you can just work these in all together, right? But now you have the ability to click over there. And I can make one side, boxed in, or the top one's boxed in, the bottom's rounded. It looks pretty crazy, but if you're creative enough, you duplicate, and then we horizontal flip. Now what do we have? You got a heck of a nifty little phone you just created. If you work off the lines they give you, and obviously remove some borders there. Look at that. So we got a nice, cool phone, nice little mock-up phone. So go figure, right? So there's so many cool things we can do in here, right? And by the way, if you want to go back forward, I know I told you undo, redo. That means we're going to take it back to the front again, like I just did. Command or Control Shift Z, and you can do that. I like to take my borders off too, by the way, folks. That's what we're coming down to next. The fill and the borders. These kind of get annoying sometimes. They're just always there. But you increase the size. You can work that meter the same way too, and then fill it in more and more. What I do like, though, again, this wasn't here either before either, was dash and gap. So you see, I think I had the borders, right? I do a different color so you don't miss it. Let's actually just make it white. And then if we come in here to our borders, put the dash in, look at these cool little lines we get. The more you do, you got to do a little bit of math here, but I'm better off just to sum it up, just going to play with them. So your gaps is how spaced out it'll be. And then your dashes, just how many dashes you want to have available per this, like the size of the shape. So obviously the higher you go up, the better it'll look. So the more you go up, the lines are kind of less spaced out. But think about it, this makes for a cool coupon kind of code, right? A little coupon code, or some use L for lines and kind of get nifty, right? And you already know where I'm going with that, but I'm not obviously going to do it. Just showing you the flexibility here, though. You can create yourself a barcode, if you will, right? It's not going to legitimately work, but you get to play upon that, right? All right, another cool feature. I'm going to actually use that L for the line because it's pretty much like a border line. But I want to use this, though. We're going to use it. Put a little drag in it, hold shift so I can keep it locked in. I wanted to show you here. Let's zoom in a little bit here. I was pretty far out this whole time. I do hope I didn't have it too spaced out for you all to see. All right. So here, if we get up closer, you see at the tips, we have a little square tip. We can change those. So right here, we have the round cap. I love to get round caps. It looks pretty darn crazy when I have them boxed off on certain projects I've been working on as of late. And then we have where you have projecting cap. So projecting cap, you notice they're pretty much the same, really, though. Projecting cap, it's just a little bit different right here with the projected cap. It goes right outside of that node a little bit. So that can come in handy depending on what you're doing. I know it really comes in handy when you're spacing out stuff with a rectangle, and it does some stuff like that. So going over to this, though, I want to go over to this next. So the same thing kind of go with these two. Your inner strokes, outer strokes. As you can see it makes a world of a difference when it comes to straightening up your lines. Notice how we had a better look with those. So it's all about kind of playing with it. These strokes, it all comes in handy. You create little padding and different setups here for you. See how we had the rounded shapes for our squares. Then we have a little bit of the kind of boxed in corners, the bevel join. So think about it, the round join and mitter join. So these all come in handy. These are just fancy ways to kind of make different looks. Just you want to get yourself familiar with those things. They're small, intricate pieces that can make a big deal breaker or make for a nice, cool, intuitive design look, right? So I wanted to show you guys that. Let's see if I totally want to wrap this up. So with our inner shadow, as you can see, if I put a little bit of line on it, you can see a little bit there. Got a little bit of line going on for the x-axis, y-axis. Have our little shadows and a little bit of blur going on. So these are some cool features. Let's do this instead. Let me just scrap this. Another rectangle out here. And it's honestly so much more, but I didn't realize this video was going to run that long, folks. So again, we're going to have to go and pull this in because this is going to hit the hour mark ridiculously. So you want to go to this real quick, the inner shadow. So inner shadow, this is another feature that was kind of new too as well. As you see, we can kind of literally go in there and work the shadow from the inside as it states. All right, we got that inner shadow. Drop shadows are the ones you commonly know, you've seen. As you see with the X and Y axis, kind of staggered it off down to the bottom. And here's the blur. So my rule of thumb, when I do my designs, you do however you want to do it. I say I do fours, maybe do fours, and then I do like a light blur. So you see we fix it in, it gets very sharp here on the end. I give myself a nice little light blur. I like to kind of put this I like to put it like on 10, to be honest. Put a little bit on a 10 so I get a little bit of a soft drop shadow, or maybe kind of cutting. I either do a 4 or a 3. That's what I like to do. All right. So we got that. We have background blur. This comes in handy if this was literally behind something. So I'm not gonna really show you anything with that now. Again, we're pressed for time, so I'm gonna do it a little different. But we can do object blur. So this is where you get that kind of that what's the look that they say? I can't think of it right now, but that little blur effect and a little soft look. I forget the trendy terminology right there off the top of my head, but if you know it, listen in the comments below, please. But nice little blur effect. It's gonna come in handy. We're gonna kind of do that with our project we have. All right. So that's something cool to do. And obviously too, we have the cool markup stuff as exports. So to me, I just simply do Command or Control E, and then as an elephant, and then just pick your different methods of the format of that file, whether you have it for design or for web. Now these are different things as well, but for projects, when you're passing this off, if you were ever getting this from a design team, this is kind of how they're doing it. So you pick your designated folder. I like to put mine in the downloads folder and pull it out and do whatever I need to do with it. All right, so that's that. What I want to pivot back to though is see if I can catch back, take the blur off, check those off, and we're gonna go back to transform. Totally messed that up for you all. So we did all this stuff, but I didn't see that cube over there. This cube is a nice, awesome feature that came out a little ways ago now, but you can always bring something into the foreground, zoom it in, turn it, give it a nice little tilt. So these are all awesome little transforms on how to. This used to be very difficult to do by hand, like a very manual way to do it. And now you have that ability. You can do Control or Command T to set that on and off too, by the way. Again, a little short keys. You're gonna hear a ton of those from me. All right, I think that's about the gist of what I wanted to kind of go over right now. You can also work those features right here, by the way. When you get those become additional features off to the side or options. All right. So guys, I've showed you a ton here. We've definitely hit the hour mark. I guarantee it with the video. I do apologize, but now we have something to work with. Okay. A couple other things we did miss though was like the vertical line. Like if you were to scroll and this was on display, you'll see that right here, that vertical line, and you can set that viewport. So that's how much is going to be seen when you display the page. Which Command or Control Enter. If we were to display this is how much is be visible, what will be seen immediately, and where would it cut off? Okay, so if I were to bring that bar up and then leave it there, and then see now, look, it caught us right here at the beginning of the whole preview. So that's how that works. All right, so that comes in handy when you do some cool design layouts. That was another one. And another cool feature was at the top corner, you come down, we have invisible rulers back here. When you have to click on the entire artboard to catch these. To your left and right, these are great to get yourself some good design sense and lay out your pinpoints and stuff. And the ever so important, once we click on this too, your grid. You check the box in the right corner, grid will allow for you to lay out your layout the way that you need to. So that's that. A little bit of the gutter system. You want to kind of work out the spacing between them. A little bit of the gutters, the width. You can get a little bit of padding and stuff together on these. Squeeze them in and get some fixed positions. So it gets pretty cool though. Like so, you have the layout abilities. All right. So again, I'm gonna do Command Control Shift apostrophe to remove those. And so you bring them in and out. Toggle that. You got Command or Control and Shift. Colon, where is it colon? I'm sorry, just Control or Command. I'm sorry, Control or Command colon to remove those rulers. All right, so those rulers come in handy. Like if you get rid of them, you're gonna lose that snap effect. As you can see, when we zoom in here, see it snaps. That snap effect. And a way to get past your snap effect though is, I will show you that as well real quick. You'll hold Control and that keeps from doing a snap and you can get right past that. All right. But yeah, when you remove those though, there's no more snap effect right there. See, nothing there. All right, guys, I've done it for way too long. I'm right there under that hour mark. This ended up being a crash course, guys. I do apologize. We ended up being a crash course. I just wanted you to know this thing frontwards and backwards as much as we could really get here within that span. This could be way longer than that. So I'm over my cap. I do apologize. I wanted to bring it back up and get people reacquainted. We reacclimated with some of the stuff we've already done, and then some of the new features they have here. Combine all these things so that I can show you some other advanced level stuff, and then we'll start building. So we're gonna do the advanced level stuff, a few more tweaks and stuff on the go when we make our layout. So that's what we're getting ready to do next. Again, it's Kev the Double O. Thanks guys for watching the video. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and be locked in if you want to by ringing that bell so you be notified of every video I drop out here moving forward. Till next time, folks, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.